Alrighty, we're back, but we've made some changes. So first of all, I was playing some Hunter, just trying to fill out a quest. I don't like Face Hunter, and I only won like 2 out of 4 or something, so I ended up dropping a couple stars. 2 out of 5 must have been. So, that's a good way to kill a win streak, but it's not nearly the end of the month yet, so we're not super worried about climbing up the ladder. We'll get there in due time. I'm just trying different variations on essentially an Archmage Antonidas deck, because I don't really like some of the plays the other one gets. When it works great, but it doesn't have much comeback potential because it doesn't draw very well. So in the interest of drawing, we have a couple Arcane Intellects. We have dropped the Azure Drakes, but the Azure Drakes only had a handful of targets that would have boosted the spell damage anyways, specifically Frostbolts and question mark number of Fireballs. So instead, we have a couple Arcane Missiles because they work great with both the Flame Waker, which I thought was Flame Walker for the longest time, and obviously Archmage Antonidas. And if we can get Tharisin out, then we can get all sorts of reduction and get these down to 0, for example, and just start looping all sorts of danger. So our goal early is going to be playing mostly Mad Scientist. We're going to be mulliganing for those pretty hard. That gives us a bit of a tempo advantage. We are still running the same secrets. That way we can pretty much trade effectively with whatever we want to maintain board control. And of course the secrets do function as spells if we need it later. It's not the best on turn 10 to play Archmage Antonidas and play a secret with it, but it is a serviceable option. Still no Alexstrasza in this deck. I couldn't seem to find room for it. And certainly bringing your opponent to 15 health and then bombarding him with fireballs and death the next turn is a viable strategy, and one we may turn to if this doesn't go well. The only other major changes are in the 5 slot. No Azure Drakes, as we mentioned. We have anti-heal bots because that other deck had no healing. So when you started getting low on health, you started going, I don't know. Could do like Ice Block in the secret slot instead, but that's okay. We also have some Sludge Belchers to be tanky against very aggro decks. Although most aggro decks have a solution for Sludge Belcher by now. He's been out for like 8 years or something. So I don't know how it's going to go. We're going to find out. Together, you and me. I'm a sucker for Arcane Intellect. What can I say? I'm a Yu-Gi-Oh player first. I've gotten into other stuff like Magic and this over the years, but I started in Yu-Gi-Oh in the very beginning, and not to go all like hipster on you, but back then you could play Pot of Greed, and everybody played Pot of Greed, and everybody in the TV show had Pot of Greed, so it was all about playing one card and drawing 2 more. So obviously Arcane Intellect, near and dear to my heart. We are supposed to be mulliganing for Mad Scientist, yes? Although we do have some nice early options here. I think we're going to throw everything but the mirror image. There are 2 mirror images now instead of 1. So we don't necessarily mind having 1. And there's a Mad Scientist. So depending on what he does, we can either mirror image on turn 1 or we can coin the Mad Scientist. I think we'll just do that. Granted, there's another option, mirror image and then just Scientist on turn 2 and keep the coin as another cheap activator for Antonidas/Flame Waker, but I kind of like this against a mage on turn 2 because I'm not particularly sure what they're going to do about it. Generally, you might see their own Mad Scientist, but we're at the lower ranks right now, so we may not even be facing these other decks. Who knows? Hero power to face is great for us, though. Very, very good chance we're just going to be unstable portaling here. Unless we drew another Scientist or something.
What to do?
We have a lot of time to think about this turn because our opponent is wasting our time. Oh. Kind of risky to play the other Scientist, though, with only 3 secrets in the deck. That's a cool one to draw.
Fool! Stop yelling! Bleh.
Of course, if we draw, say, another secret in the interim while we wait to play Mad Scientist, then we're going to be disappointed. I don't know what this is about, but I'm okay with it. Can't really trade favorably with anything. If he goes face, we could really just hero power it. Twiddle our thumbs. I think we'll just do that. Could also mirror image, but that's okay. Don't really see the need, to be honest. It is nice to be mana efficient whenever possible, certainly, but there's mana efficiency and then there's just playing cards for the sake of playing cards for mana, and we'd rather keep Mirror Image unless we need it so that it can be a cheap activator later on. I believe... see, if we didn't want to play Scientist before, why would we now, though? Let's draw. Once again, not quite on curve, but that's okay. Kind of able to take our sweet time right now. And we have the good old Emperor Tharisan, which means all these relatively cheap cards in our hand are just going to end up getting relatively cheaper. I mean, we could throw our board at this to kill it, or we could just polymorph it, which does sound rather attractive. I think we'll just do that. Cheap trade. May or may not be the best play there. I do have one polymorph in this deck now, which we didn't have before. Aha! A Stampeding Kodo. I would love one, thank you. Hearthstone's turn order can get a little bit weird, yes. He might be able to kill this now with just playing it out raw, but I don't care. He can't kill us with what's showing. If he wants to trade his Kodo into it with a Frostbolt or some other nonsense, that's okay. Both these are great non-Flame Strike targets, so if he plays that, that's great for us. Second Altmorph. Oh no, I did not see it coming. Is he really going face? My goodness. Sir, I don't know what you're up to, but it doesn't seem like it's a great choice for you. So much manners. We do have, unfortunately, our two secrets in our hand now, so the dream is dead for the Mad Scientist. We could just come out blazing with the Flame Waker, but I don't think that's necessary. I think we just kind of maintain here, because he is very close to dying, and he doesn't know that yet. Maybe we play the Mad Scientist anyways. Nah. I'm not sure why he thinks he can go face when I have board control and a life lead, but I'm not going to be the one to tell Max Cat what to do. We have a Fireball in hand. We have other ways to get some damage out eventually. Flame Waker might spray damage all over the place. There's Flame Strike. Lovely. Let me show you how little I care. There's our pal Antonidas. And now we have cheaper activators for him, including a 0 mana mirror image. Wait, yeah. I was going to say mirror entity, but then I said it correctly, but then I forgot that I said it correctly. It's a whole sequence that just went terribly wrong. So we could play Antonidas next turn and just get 2 more fireballs out of it, and that puts the mage in a real nasty spot.
You require my assistance.
Aha! I don't know if he's going to have the presence of mind to kill one of those first, but as it is, we'll play it safe. And just play the mirror entity down instead. We don't really want the effigy to go off on one of the stupid 0-2s with taunt. And now it most certainly would have. Because he has nothing else to attack right now. The problem is he has to kill us this turn, or heal. Otherwise, he knows he's dead because we just put 2 fireballs in our hand. He doesn't know that we have a third one, but we don't have the mana to play all 3. Might just be playing cards at this point because it's over. It is fun to play all the cards before you die. Damn it, now we're not going to have full health when we win next turn. Our life sucks. Nobody's life is worse than ours. There you go, hit me in the face. I'm going to loop so many fireballs into our hand right now. You won't notice that we played one that was 3 mana, meaning we already had one in hand. Okay, interesting. Interesting. We did draw relatively well, so it's hard to say is the deck better than the other one, or is it just that we drew well? I don't know. I'm going to buy a pack real quick. Because I can, I don't know. We're in this journey together, okay? I don't understand it. You're in the passenger seat, you're the navigator, I'm the driver, we're both going off a cliff. You should have been looking more closely at the GPS, you selfish... I'm sorry, I didn't mean to yell at you. Oh, we have an epic. I'm still buying packs from the new expansion because it's better than getting dust. Confuse. I don't know a lot about Confuse. Obviously, I understand the card. I'm not sure if it's something that's happening in viable decks or not. Anyway, that does it for today. We'll probably give this deck another crack tomorrow, see if we can figure out how good exactly it is. Maybe tweak it a little bit. We'll see. But anyways, thank you for watching.